What's up, everyone? This is Soul, and this is another episode of League Season, where I take a look at a handful of fan fiction and talk smack about it. As always, this is going to be, I'm going to approach these sorts of leaks with the attitude of, well, this is super fake. I'm not going to take these seriously. I'm going to make fun of them. I'm going to often pause and be like, whoa, what the heck? And proceed to trash talk this fan fiction, but all for fun, because that's the whole point of these things. Of course, if you don't mind, like, subscribe, that sort of thing. And let's just get right into it, shall we? Yeah, we begin with World of Warcraft, Dawn of Dragons. Features new level cap of 70, new continent, Dragon Isles with 6 zones and no description. 8 dungeons, 2 raids, probably at the start, a new neutral race, a dragonkin that can be the 9 original classes. The original classes. So, not monks. Wait, why not monks? So, not monks, not demon hunters, not death knights, which I don't see why not. Wait, yeah, those are the 3. So, why not death knights? I don't see what. Yeah, I don't see why monks and death knights would stay out of it. Oh well. New infinite mega dungeon, the Chromatic Spire. I think that's actually well named. A new battleground, Vermilion Crater. That's new. I haven't seen anything mention a new battleground. Dragonflight Allegiance system. Dragon aspect cloaks that are powered up with draconic power. Hey guys, I need to farm up that DP, baby. Oh, you need that DP? Oh yeah, I need that DP all day, man. I'm not gonna mention what that refers to. And has visual effects like the Pandaria Celestial Cloaks. Get that DP, man. Dragon Isles zones. Emerald Ring Forest, Ruby Heart Basin, Sapphire Mountains, Amberstone Desert, Obsidian Badlands, and Black Talon Island. I like how they are respective for each of the 5.5 flights. Now, what would Black Talon Island mean? That's mean. The Black Dragons get like 2 zones for themselves? That ain't cool, dude. Ooh, animated shorts. The leaders. That's the name. Leaders. Rathian, Alexstraszi, Ysera Kalgos, and Nose Dormizi. Rathian is on the key arts and box art of the expansion. So vain. The Warcraft mobile game is a hero collector type game similar to Raid Shadowlands and is called Champions of Azeroth. That would be the most unoriginal name ever for an unoriginal concept. You know, I could see that. Like, we have something like Heroes of the Storm. Although Heroes of the Storm encompasses like all the Blizzard franchises, I can see something like Blizzard doing, you know, a hero gacha sort of thing. Same dealie. I wouldn't like that because I find, you know, those sorts of games less exciting. Like, there's one that I played some, and I'm not even going to mention the name. I don't want it to sound like I'm promoting mobile games or whatnot. But there's like one hero collector game that I enjoyed playing. That one, at least, it was very friendly for free to play. Very friendly. Like, the advantages of like buying into stuff, I don't know what the advantages were because it's not like you ever really interacted with other people like ever. You were pretty much always just kind of doing things on your. There's like a little arena thing where you would take your dudes and fight someone else. But yeah, there was like there wasn't really a lot of thought behind it. But anyway, I can see that happening. I really wish that it wouldn't. That would be really dull for me. But this one, it's very bare bones, obviously. So this one gets an almost automatic 2. But it's, you know, there's not too much mess for me to talk about. Like, I don't buy into the idea of Dragonkin, of a new race that cannot be a Death Knight and cannot be a monk, because, well, when it comes to the timeline of Death Knights, unless these Dragonkin, this neutral race comes from a place that only that the Lich King never could touch, and this race never left the Dragon Isles or wherever they came from, then okay, I can buy into that. But then we have to think up like a whole, the mysterious shroud, and left them isolated for 10,000 years, again with a 10,000 years and that sort of thing. But also, the race would also need to be kind of a hero race too, right? They would need to be a race that starts off at a high enough level that they need to exist outside of that timeline, in a sense. Although, because otherwise it would be like very awkward. Infinite Mega, yeah. Good luck with a new Torghast Draconic power. This person knew. They must have known what they were doing. Yeah, guys, just farm up DP. But I do like that they talked about the shorts. That this kind of makes sense to me. I hope it's not in this order, because I don't want those Dormer to be like the last one. That'd be kind of boring. But yeah, solid 2. It gets a solid 2 from me. Let's move on to the second and final thing of League season. Let's go. World of Warcraft. Ooh, he's not banned. World of Warcraft Dusts of Rebirth -10.0. Been saving this for a while, as I wanted to wait until they announced the reveal date for the next expansion. Close parentheses. I don't know where the open parentheses was. I will post this once here on MMO Champion. There will be no story information due to that info being very tightly wrapped up. They want to achieve and go beyond Final Fantasy XIV level of storytelling and interactiveness. No more PTR spoilers also. Interesting. Very projection. Because why would you even mention Final Fantasy XIV? Just say they want to tell a really good story. Why compare it? Why kick up dust, Blizzard? No, man. Yeah, so mega fake. This expansion is actually, no, before I even go that, the no more PTR spoilers also. So I talked with someone. Doesn't matter who it is. So you don't have to think of this as credible you don't have to think of this as credible at all. And I've talked about this a little bit before. I'll just say it now since I'm doing this in a video. The whole thing with PTRs and all that, and I've said this too. I've said, hey, you know what they should do? You know what Blizzard, you know what y'all should do? You should have 2 kinds of PTRs. One, or you should have like your own internal builds where y'all could do whatever you want, but you should also have something where the only thing that we as testers check out are class changes and abilities and blah blah blah, and like that's it. Don't even show us the new continent. Just make a sandbox in the capital cities with a bunch of target dummies all over the place, and just let us have at it, and that's it. The problem with something like that, though, is that the team would need to internally test that as well. They would still have to do that, so they would effectively be testing 2 things at the same time, which doubles their work. Also, when it comes to engineering and setting all that stuff up, they would need to effectively set up 2 different clients, and that would be incredibly taxing in the scope of all these different things that we need to test. Now, this is coming from me, so you could say I'm talking out my ass this time. When a game like World of Warcraft comes out, that's very old and has like so many different things that go into it. When it's time for like a new patch or even a new hotfix or something like that, in a perfect world, every time there's a hotfix or a patch, you test literally everything in the game, because the changes that go in when you when you patch something in, it gets pretty chaotic. Anything could happen. There's a chance that, you know, this really small change that you put into the game could cause a certain encounter in an old raid on a certain difficulty to just break. And that kind of, you know, one could say, hey, you know what, that just means that WoW is made with spaghetti code and it's, you know, and that's dumb and they shouldn't make the game that way. Well, that's nice. That's a great platitude to have. But this is the reality of it. Not being able to do, you know, for the most part, when we see, you know, new patches or whatever come out and we see things break, it's easy for us to laugh it off and say like, oh, lol, you know, the team should be checking this sort of stuff out. But it's also a little bit unfair. I mean, I remember doing some other testing. Every time we'd see a build, you know, we'd have to for certain games that I would test, I'd have to play through the whole goddamn thing. I'd have to platinum this thing in order to do a proper smoke test. And so doing it with like a massive game, like an MMO, whether it's WoW or even just like large RPGs, like a large open world RPGs, it's tough to check all that shit out. And so to ask them, hey, we're gonna have like a PTR with just these things, on the back end, it'd be fucking chaos. on their end, they would have, you know, there would be even less that they'd be able to check out. Oh well. So that's my whole thing on why it's very difficult to have a PTR that doesn't spoil stuff. The safest thing for them to do, unfortunately, would be to do closed testing again. Closed testing, NDAs, no data mining at all, done. But that is also extremely difficult to do. But anyway, I'm sorry. Let me move on to the actual stuff. This expansion is very, very cosmetic focused. Quality of life changes and true, quote, evergreen content. No end quote. World of Warcraft Dusts of Rebirth will release on Xbox and PC exclusively. With the Xbox release dated shortly after the acquisition date has been reached. I can and I can't see that, because it's kind of like the Final Fantasy route. If you're going to make an MMO that is console friendly, then you must change your user experience stuff. You got to change your UX to be console friendly from the very bottom to the very top. And that's a really tough sell, man. Yeah, that's a really, really tough sell. World of Warcraft will drop its current... Oh, God. World of Warcraft will drop its current subscription model and opt into the 2-tier model. If you pay for Game Pass, you get the... Okay, so it's not like it's got... If you pay for the Game Pass, you get the game for free. If you opt into the 2-tier model, you receive monthly rewards and in-game cosmetics, including a Fantasia-like... Dude, the projection from this guy! For those who don't know, I assume that everyone who writes these is a man, because these are ridiculous. You get in-game cosmetics, including a no, wait. This would be stupid anyway, because the only thing that WoW is limited to at this point is race. That's it. You can change your appearance, you can change your freaking gender, you can change all sorts of shit. And I don't know, this wouldn't feel like it wouldn't have a whole lot of value. You receive monthly rewards and in-game cosmetics. You know what's kind of funny? We already do. I mean, like, for people who pay for like the 6-month option and keep that active, guess what? You get free mounts, you get free transmog every now and then whenever they release that stuff. And ta-da, and you pay less. Yeah. This I mean, it's thoughtful, but not gonna work. Blizzard and Microsoft are expecting a substantial MAU increase for WoW. Oh, look at that! He's so smart. He knows how to use. He knows acronyms. With both parties hoping to reach similar numbers to that of the Wrath and Kata era. So he's a WoW boomer too. Old and plays 14 and is a WoW boomer. Oh, I long for those days, man. Remember those days, guys, when 10-man guilds just stayed down there like the rabble they were, and 25-man was the real raiding. Locked raid sizes, fuck flex. Forget those late people. That sort of deal. Yeah. Let's cut people off from playing the game. Like the old days when the game was good. Content. See, this is what happens when I only have one leak to cover. I'm gonna take it to the hilt, baby. We will return to Azeroth to find the planet healing in the champion's absence. Biomes of the old world have changed for the better and the worse. New and old tribes have risen and resurfaced, one of them being the Quillbore, and one of them being a crocodile race, similar to the Tortalan and the Sethic, among many more. Rathian has found the Dragon Isles, the new 5-zone continent. Levels stay at 60, new, quote, Paragon leveling system akin to Diablo 3. Sorry, what? Levels stay at 60, so we will stay at level 60. New, quote, Paragon leveling system akin to Diablo 3. Increase agility by 10 points, for example. That doesn't tell me anything. Except there will be a weekly cap on the levels you can earn. So time gating our leveling. Experience for this system is earned through all types of content, from raiding, Mythic Plus, PvP, legacy content, professions, and open world content. It takes a matter of hours to reach the weekly cap just by doing your normal daily activity. So we do little things throughout the week, and we get pathetic amounts of points. So without going further, because I do this all the time, how does everything work? So something that's important about gaining levels, even though some people are like, oh, levels are stupid and blah, 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 they do provide a very easy to understand path towards like progression. Hey, get to level 62 and now you can access quests in the new zone. So that way you're not going too far ahead and you're not like just wandering bumfuck everywhere. You need to get to a certain, you need to be max level in order to enter dungeons, a certain dungeon or raid content. Or if you want to get into heroic dungeons and other or mythic dungeons, you need to be max level. So how would that translate here? Is it going to be like, oh, you need to get like a bunch of Paragon levels, and then the Paragon levels like go up every week and blah, blah, blah. But in the meantime, it would sort of mean that day one of this new expansion, no one will be able to do dungeons, because there's going to be no lifers that are like, yep, race to world first, let's go, boys. And they're gunning for it, they're pushing, and they won't be able to do anything because they can't get that far ahead. Something that WoW definitely does is try to keep people from getting too far ahead of themselves, too far ahead of themselves. They want to kind of make the first couple months of an expansion have a sort of even playing field, but people will still outperform. Something like this, though. How are dungeons and Mythic Plus and all that stuff? How is that going to work? And I don't think the person who made this really thought it through, like how all that's going to work out. I mean, we'll see. We still got like a bit to go, so let's find out. New continent, Dragon Isles, very, very original. Dragon Isles will have 5 zones, some of them being Suramar-esque, Black Dragon related, all of which are each related to the Dragonflights. New zone progression system, here we go. Living World. I think we've seen this. I've seen this in previous leaks. Living World, WT. That's what people saw on the strings. Oh, right. Yeah, we saw little things of that. Oh, so this person's putting some effort into trying to tie stuff together. Updated old zones for max level gameplay. 10.0 will launch with some of the zones already altered for max level content. Max level? But there are no levels, you inconsistent person. For example, the players might depart from the Dragon Isles to venture in Ashenvale for a chapter of a questline. Partaking in the new scenery and lore there. They want to give max level players a reason to go out to the old zones again. A living, breathing world instead of just being deserted. Max level content such as world quests and cosmetic progression will be in old zones. But how do you define max level content? Class skins. Oh, this person's a Taliesin Nevital viewer. Night Elf Paladins, Moon Knight, etc. Purely cosmetic. Some will be featured on the store. Oh, shit. However, most are obtained from gameplay. Race change is being removed from the game and will feature a race change potion similar to Fantasia, so we're getting to that now. That's farmable and buyable on the auction house. So, race changes... wait. So, no more race change. The game will feature a potion that you can buy and farm for on the auction house, and you get it free if you are subscribed for the tier 2 model. Class skins are determined to be a pre-order seller with 1 for every class as a pre-order reward, achievable through all types of gameplay with the same rewards. However, the more cooler ones are obtained through difficult content, such as hard mode gauntlet, high keys, ready PvP, heroic and mythic raid. Wow, so fuck you, casuals. That's basically what it's telling me. Get fucked. So this person is clearly an endgame player. The gauntlet, now a permanent... Oh yeah, he spelled it gauntlet twice. Okay, so I'll just call it the gauntlet now. The gauntlet, now a permanent feature because I guess last time it wasn't. Will be similar to the Jailer's Gauntlet, except will feature old raid bosses as single player / 5-man content. Also ties into current storylines and endgame cosmetic progression. Yeah, lots of taking ideas from all sorts of suggestions. The Gauntlet will be similar to Mage Tower Blockchain, except no building. Okay, so Mage Tower building. There's activities around the area for players to engage in. At launch, there will be the base Dragon Isles encounters and also Ragnaros and Netharian? I don't know if he means Netharian or Neltharian. That's what happens, Dad, when you name your kid so close to you. If someone spells it wrong, we don't know who we're talking about anymore. Ragnaros and Netharian as the Gauntlet's legacy content. There are 3 difficulty options: easy, normal, and hard, as opposed to normal, heroic, and mythic. The hard one is Mage Tower hard, offering better cosmetics the harder the difficulty. For example, killing all the classic bosses on hard will give paladins a high def tier 2 judgment. Oh no. I don't want that one, which everyone thinks is the best. Wow. Well, dude plays a paladin, I guess. This dude does not represent fashionable paladins, okay? Tier 2, I get it. There's a certain prestige behind it. But we've come a long way, dude. We've come a long way since tier 2 judgment. Come on. Anyway, cross-faction guilds with guild vaults available. Availably from neutral cities such as Dragon Isles, Dalaran, etc. Yeah. Account-wide everything. Wow, this dude is just like, I'm gonna give everybody everything. I'm gonna cater to every to every popular thread that's out there. Account-wide everything. Reputation, cosmetic features, etc. Exalted rep on one character would mean every character on that account has it. They were against this for years, but due to the feedback over the years, and especially Shadowlands, it decided it's about time we let this happen. So that's all it took, huh? All it took was do it. And then it just happens. There's no technical limitation for it at all. Welcome to game dev, I guess. Favored Covenant Europe comes from Europe. Favored Covenant abilities become baseline. Paladins. See, I'm learning so many things about you, Leaker. Favored Covenant abilities become baseline. Paladins receive Divine Bell. Okay, are you a Paladin or not? Like, you're talking about, oh, tier 2, it's so great, but you don't even know Fan of Shields, its original name. Get out of here, man. Paladins receive Divine Bell, Druids get Convoke, etc. Some are reworked, such as the Warrior carrying Spear on impact, displaying a Ring of Blood that does bleed impact plus bleed damage. No, man, I would want my class skin to preserve the original Kyrian effect if I wanted to. Archaeology revamp. No one's talked about that yet. Archaeology becomes a mainline profession. A mainline profession? Oh no, don't do that. Everyone will want to have it, not because of power, because it's super fun. There's no power. Wait, no. If it becomes a primary profession and it takes a slot, no one will be an archaeologist ever again. They will effectively kill it again. Nah, don't do that. Everyone will want to have it, not because of power, but because it's super fun. Way to gaslight, dude. Yeah, nah, man. I don't think so. For a gesture of, quote, goodwill to the players, server transfers will be free for 1 week only, open across most realms to allow players to move Horde and Alliance characters to their realm to play with their guilds. Yeah, never mind the bundle that just came out. That is, I believe, no longer on sale. But now we're just going to do it for... I mean, that'd be great. That'd be cool. I still stand by the idea of, hey, you know, if they're going to do like this whole full-on cross-faction thing, just make race changes, put them on a discount, kind of like what this thing is saying, and they'll make gangbusters on that. Okay, let's move on. LFR. Oh, he's definitely not a WoW dev. Remember, I'm a naming convention slut. Sometimes I say LFR and I don't mean to. I always try to say Raid Finder. Raid Finder is being reworked into a single/multiplayer learning experience where Chromia will teach players basic mechanics and the basic mechanics of each boss in the current raids. Players receive a one-time only normal piece of loot per tier at the end. That's not bad. That would be kind of cool. Kind of. Although that would be a kind of a technical... To me, that's a lot of work for Raid Finder difficulty. And also, I don't know if that it helps to. I think that would help teach people things by giving people like this whole, hey, if you want to jump in here, you'll get grouped up with a bunch of AI NPCs, and they'll slowly like teach you how to do the encounter mechanics. I can see that as a big. That feels like a really big challenge too. I don't know if the engineering work for that would be entirely worth it, especially consider that that retuning happens kind of a lot. I think my perspective is just kind of warped there. as a concept, that sounds like a cool idea, though. Mythic Zeros are now accessible through the Looking for Dungeon pane, making it more accessible for players to get into higher echelons of content. Ooh, nice word, echelon. Heroic dungeons are removed, deemed pointless. What? Why is that? I don't see them as pointless at all. So, like, for those who forgot, you know, normal dungeons are just, like, not very tough. Heroic dungeons hit harder. Mythic dungeons, they change the mechanics of that raid, of the dungeon as well. So things change considerably. Yeah, I don't think it's pointless. You know, for some people, Mythic Zeros are it. So I think this person isn't, you know, this person is an elite player too. The goal of this expansion is to create the true evergreen content where they can keep systems that will stay with the game forever, this being Living World, the Gauntlet, and Paragon Leveling. Expansions from 11.0 onwards will not receive any new borrowed power system of any kind. Only tier sets, enchants, gems, and consumables will be the external power tied to the player character, which is separate from an internal player power, talents, abilities, and Paragon levels. I mean, the thing, I don't know, because what happens for a new player? Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, what happens for like an alt? Is the Paragon thing going to apply to alts as well? You know, you get that alt to like the level 60 and all of a sudden they inherit all the Paragon stuff, because I mean, this person did say that everything is account wide. But also, like, I'm not quite sure like how to translate like how it is that we progress. You know, because this person isn't talking about story, and they wanted an out for that, I guess, without being able to really translate like how story progression is gonna go. Like, how's all this shit gonna fall into place? It sounds like it would be like an absolute mess. You get dropped into the world, and then what? So they're going to massively increase the budget for the story departments. Having full Blizzard quality CGI cinematics for not just patches, but important in-game cinematics. They want to surpass Final Fantasy's projection. They want to surpass Final Fantasy's story on a visual level. More interactiveness with characters and environments. Design philosophy has changed, moving from borrowed power systems to cosmetic progression. The decision was made due to live service games like Call of Duty receiving huge profit increases from cosmetic microtransactions. Right. Okay. For example, players can focus on the content that they love to do. So on launch for a raider, it would look like this. Oh, here we go. Finish the Dragon Isle story. So it is going to be quest gated, it sounds like. Farm your weekly Mythic Zero lockouts. And then raid. Okay. Players will be able to log into their alts, skip the story, and jump straight into max level content. There is no level. And jump straight into max level content if they wish. Player choice, player agency is key. I don't know, like, it looks like you robbed player agency as well, because you kind of like told them exactly what they would be doing. Oh, maybe I'm missing something. The new expansion will alter their content delivery slightly in that every 0.5 and 1.0 patch, one of these new updated zones will receive a brand new questline for max level players. There is no max level! Offering lore, cosmetic rewards, and gold. This is where archaeology comes in, which is now an optional thing. Not everyone's going to get archaeology. None of these old world zones will receive a new dungeon outside of the base 10.0 dungeons. One of these new updated zones, as in like the living world thing, will receive a quest line for max level players offering stuff. That's it. Well, without knowing the story, we don't know. It's a lot of content. No, does not. This doesn't sound like a lot of content. It's a lot of content, but designed so that the developers can pump out content on a Legion on steroids level. The phrasing that comes from this dude, Legion on steroids. It's very awkward. The announcement will come in April, with the Friends and Family Alpha starting 2 weeks after. So this sounds feasible, almost reasonable. Beta will follow shortly. Shortly? What? No, that's... Bro, that's not how this works. It's not like, hey, we're gonna have a fast alpha and then go straight into it. It's gonna be a few months, homie. Beta will follow shortly with an expected release in Q1 2023. Patch 925 will come out at the start of May. Watlet Classic will come out in November 2022, giving 3 months before 10.0 is released. Beta is coming out earlier than usual. The quicker they get serious testers into the content, the earlier they can provide feedback, but due to the quality of life changes and lack of borrowed power systems, they expect more casual players to partake this time. Nope, that's not how it works at all. Warcraft Mobile, yeah, how is that? Hold on. Because there's lack of borrowed power systems, they can expect more casual players to partake this time. How is that? How does that logic work? Boys, there's going to be fewer things to test, and so you will want to test it. I don't know. Warcraft Mobile will tie into 10.0, offering content on lore books, minigames, collections, and guild chat. Can also access and post auction house listings. Wait, I thought the Warcraft Mobile thing was going to be an actual game and not... Yeah, because we already have a Warcraft mobile app. Oh, no. I think this is just talking about the mobile app. Okay. I missed that. That's cool. You know, I would like that. I would like to see that in the like the mobile app. You know, just kind of more things. Like, I don't know about lore books. But well, actually no, let me walk that back again. It would be cool if they're just like, hey, you want to buy this? Do you want to buy this version of the whole goddamn book from the mobile app? It'll cost, you know, far less than what you would pay for on, like, you know, for an actual book or a digital book for your Kindle on Amazon or whatever. You know, here's the cheapest version of it. Get on the app. Hey, that would be cool. I don't know about the mini games and all that stuff, but you know, that would be kind of cool. So this thing gets like a 2.2. maybe I'm being a little bit harsh because this is the only leak that we're covering today. The thing that really kills it for me is the whole level stays at 60 sort of thing. It seems very confusing. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't really do much to like tell a story or to have that regular sense of progression. I mean, if they are saying, hey, let's have account-wide everything and like leveling is just like done, it's done and over with, I feel like that should be something that, I don't know, I without really getting into it, it doesn't sound like a very convincing thing that sounds like, hey, this would be like really cool. And it also, you know, the whole thing with account-wide stuff, when it crosses a certain line, it then starts to write this narrative that WoW players, in order for them to feel like they're having fun, that they must play multiple classes, multiple characters, in order to just have fun. Now, there's a certain there's efficiency in it, right? having multiple characters means that you are that much more self-sufficient when it comes to professions and farming for materials, things like that. Like, that part's cool. But when it feels like you have to play it in order to experience in order to get like that full experience, that's where I get a little bit turned off. And that's why I got turned off a bit but from Battle for Azeroth, because there's so much story that is on one faction, and if you want to get so much more story, then you got to play the other faction. Same thing happened with Legion. If you want to be able to experience the entire Legion storyline, you're gonna have to play all 12 classes and experience the not Covenant campaign, but the Class Order campaign 12 times. To which there was definitely some overlap on some of them, and some weren't as very impactful as others. But I wasn't too fond of like having to split myself up. And something like this would kind of do the same thing. It would make it feel like I gotta do this in order to get like the grand experience. Making archaeology into its own thing, nah, that sounds like an awful idea. I wouldn't want to be like, oh, archaeology has this cool stuff now and it's fun and it doesn't really do anything, but it's like really fun and cool. But I don't want to sacrifice being a blacksmith and an engineer for doing that. If it is just meant to be fun, it would be kind of awkward to be like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to make a new character just so I can give them archaeology, just so I can experience that, and it would be limited to that. And I think archaeology should stay as a secondary thing. And what happened to the whole player agency leaker? Just leave it as a secondary. I am really curious what is going to happen in the future with the submodel, though. Is it going to change or alter in any meaningful way? Because the other game that Microsoft kind of owns, ESO, I don't recall that has changed at all. Like, no change to payment options. There's no Game Pass. Is there a Game Pass thing for ESO? If there is, okay, that's one thing. If there is not, then I don't see why WoW should do the same thing. That's kind of my take on it. Overall, though, it is a thoughtful leak that, you know, we got little hints of what kind of person this leaker is. But yeah, not bad. And that will wrap up today's episode of Leak Season. I want to thank you guys for coming. Let me know if there were things that you liked about these particular leaks, or things that you're just like, nah, I don't think so, buddy. Let me know your thoughts. Of course, like the video, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys for the next thing. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.